Hello. I was thinking about this morning as I was getting the boys ready, and I could recognize that in my spirit I was very impatient as I saw the time approaching to, we need to get there by now, or you guys are going to be late. And I snapped at one of my boys, not like a lot, like really, I think if you were in the same room, you would not have noticed it. However, for me, the type of relationship that I'm really trying to maintain with my boys and grow with my boys is one of mutual respect and kindness. And I can tell in my spirit when, I overstep that and when it's, hurtful to their hearts. So my son came up to me and wanted to empty his backpack of all of his assignments in the thick of it. And I just was like, no, buddy, like not right now. Like this can be done, after school. And I could just tell that it kind of broke his 8-year-old heart. And so I apologized to him on the walk to the school from the parking lot. And it just made me think about apologies. It's literally never too late to apologize. And, in the Bible, Jesus talks about, hey, if you hold anything against somebody or they hold something against you, leave your gift at the altar and go and take care of it and be reconciled. And, that is really the good news of the gospel, is about reconciliation with God. And so I think, a very important step on that is obviously forgiveness, forgiving others, forgiving ourselves when there's hurt involved or trespasses involved, just like how God has forgiven us. And I think the other part of that too is offering the apology when we know that when we've been hurtful or we've done wrong. The Bible does say that it is sin if we know the good that we should do and we don't do it. And so I just challenge us all to the apology. And it actually is not as hard as we might think it is. Obviously we need to ask for permission. Hey, is now a good time to apologize over something that I did earlier? And then they can say no. And you can say, okay, well, just I'll check in with you, maybe in 20 minutes or maybe tomorrow, and we can see if I can talk about it then. So the first step is asking for time to apologize if this is a good time, and also being flexible if it's not, and just holding it loosely and saying to yourself, okay, well, they're not ready right now. I will try again later. And definitely try again later. Don't just let it drop over the end of a cliff. And then the next step would be to say, I'm sorry. I love to say something like this, like, I'm really sorry for snapping at you and hurting your feelings. It's not, in my opinion, it's not enough just to say I'm sorry. It's not enough just to say I'm sorry for hurting your feelings. It's not enough just to say, I'm sorry that I behaved in a certain way. I think we really need to say what we did and how it potentially affected them. And it's not really like rocket science. It's usually as simple as, hey, I'm sorry for snapping and hurting your feelings. Or I'm sorry for being short with you and hurting your feelings. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be hurting your feelings. And then, whatever action that you did that hurt their feelings. So I'll say, I'm sorry for snapping at you or whatever it was, owning my wrong, and then saying and hurting your feelings. And then after that, I will say, that was really wrong. Own it. It's so freeing. Like, it kind of feels terrifying when you think about it. Like, I don't want to admit that I was wrong. Like, can't I just kind of tiptoe around it and just say sorry? You know what? You can, and it's not going to be as quality. It's like, why would I buy leggings that I know are going to fall apart after like 3 washes and then have to repurchase and spend more money? Or why would I not just spend for some quality leggings that I know are not going to fall apart after 3 or 4 washes? Of course I would, if I can, try to get the quality leggings. I mean, that's a silly example, but let's shoot for quality here. It's important, especially if these relationships you want to build and submit to the Lord's will of loving others well and loving God first. And so, let's recap. So asking permission, is now a good time to apologize for what I did earlier? And being open for them to say no, and then consistently, persistently trying to create a time where it is okay for them to receive an apology. And then once you get that permission, then we just say, hey, I'm really sorry for insert what you did, owning it, and hurting your feelings. Own it and admit it, say that was wrong. And then the final step is just asking for forgiveness. And I really hope you can forgive me. And a lot of people will say, you know, can you forgive me right there on the spot? And I feel like that adds a lot of pressure already. This person, you have to understand they're hurting, okay? Like what we did to them hurt their feelings. And I know for me, and I think if we're honest with ourselves, when somebody hurts us, it's difficult to move inside of that hurt, and it's also difficult to get to the other side of the hurt. And so in today's culture of like instant gratification, instant Amazon deliveries, instant Instapot, right? We're expecting, okay, well, just forgive me and let's move on. And I think we need to be a little bit more sensitive to where other people are at, and just give them the ability to be human, and the ability to have their free will, and the ability to work through a process of forgiveness at their own pace, and being gracious. Because we can recognize from a humble standpoint, like we wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for our slip of tongue or for our actions that were hurtful. So we can be humble and we can be patient. We can wait for that. So I don't like to say, can you forgive me in the apology? I like to say, will you consider forgiving me? Or I hope you can forgive me. That's a better one. Not will you consider, but just I hope you can forgive me. So that way it doesn't put a timeline on it. It doesn't put pressure, no deadline. So the next time we hurt somebody's feelings, we're going to ask for permission. Hey, it's now a good time to apologize for what I did earlier. And just be gracious. If they say no, try again later. And then once we do get the permission, just saying, hey, I'm really sorry for snapping at you and hurting your feelings. That was really wrong. And I hope you can forgive me. And saying it very earnestly and very humbly and authentically. And it will just really help your relationships to flourish. All right. Thank you for tuning in. God bless you and have a wonderful day.